Hey, how's it going? I'm going to be reviewing Baywatch. This is the non spoiler version, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't worry, I'm not going to give too much away. I reviewed this, and I also reviewed Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. Yeah, I saw two movies. Aren't I the spoiled one? Pretty much as far as I can say about the movie, it's entertaining. I laughed. A lot of immature jokes, and they really enjoyed having the R rating. They made use of it. But if it's a comedy that has Zac Efron in it and Dwayne Johnson, they're a good match. They both have good comedic timing. So the movie itself, it's loosely based off the TV show. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson, yes, I know, I so badly want to say The Rock. He plays Mitch Buchanan, a role that was, of course, taken by David Hasselhoff. And he runs a beach of lifeguards. And along his side is Stephanie, the other lifeguard. And now this movie, it's kind of like a satirical version of the TV show. The TV show was never serious, but it tried to be serious. This movie just kind of knew what it was and knew it was a joke and just kind of went with it. Zac Efron plays Brody. He's a combination of many of the young characters that were on the show. He's kind of like the typical upstart lifeguard. He used to be a Olympic swimmer, but his partying just kind of ruined it for him. So as a publicity stunt, he tries to become a lifeguard, and Mitch is not having that one bit. And there are other characters that are caricatures of the original characters of the TV show, like CJ, who was previously played by Pamela Anderson, now played by some other girl. And the show is goofy at best. This movie is just a lot of sick jokes. And that's kind of where we're going nowadays with movies. With comedy, they think it has to be raunchy. All right, I mean, I'm not a prude. It's about timing. Comedy is still about timing, and I don't know. Uh, Again, I laughed. Laughed, and I didn't go into this movie thinking, like, oh, I better have a better adaptation of Baywatch. It better be true to it better be true to the original TV show made in the 90s. I wasn't a big Baywatch fan for me to sit there and criticize like that. So I just had to go into it, and I wanted a good laugh, and I got it. So the plot of the movie is that there's drugs being spread out on the beach by this female villain. I'm sorry I didn't get her name because she wasn't really interesting. She was just kind of bland and played off the uniqueness that she is a female villain in charge of a drug cartel. And yeah, that is pretty unique for a movie. It's just a movie about how some Baywatch lifeguards train and they become lifeguards and on their first mission. You have other side characters that were in the original TV show that transitioned to film. For example, you have Captain Thorpe. Except for in this movie, he's an asshole. In the TV show, he was just an older guy who didn't really do too much. But in this movie, he was kind of like the rough, hard-ass, but asshole dork. And then you had some other characters. There's a whole falling out with Zac Efron, Brody, and Dwayne Johnson, Mitch, and it's the typical storyline. I can't really describe too much. What was good about the movie is they did reference random stuff in the episodes of Baywatch. Again, I was never a huge Baywatch watcher, but I do watch this one series you can find online called Baywatching. I am so sorry if I mispronounce her last name, but her name is Alison Pregler. She pretty much does recaps of each individual episodes, and they are hilarious. She should have wrote the movie. This is how I know of the show. So when they reference things like, oh, last month we dealt with someone trying to smuggle diamonds in a surfboard, that actually did happen on a TV show. There are a lot of dumb gags like them being in a morgue and Mitch forces Brody to look at some guy's junk, a dead guy's junk, to find clues, and it just turned out to be like a bit of a prank. Yeah, a lot of dick jokes in the movie. Like I said, it was hilarious. You wanted something mindless, it's given to you. The ending was pretty explosive. It did have an appearance by David Hasselhoff. What do you think? It's David Hasselhoff. He knows who he is. He knows, he's a caricature of himself. Also has an appearance by Pamela Anderson. And I don't think I'm giving anything away in the spoiler-free version because we just knew they were going to show up. It's a movie adaptation of a TV show. The original actors always show up, and it was publicized everywhere. Without going into further detail about it, I am going to give this movie, this is tough, I'm going to give it a B+. It's a slightly higher grade than I gave Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales, and that's because I wanted a comedy. I went into the movie, I laughed, and I got what I expected from the movie. I wasn't expecting anything great, and the B+ is probably pushing it as far as like the stuff that I listed, like body part jokes, kind of lazy writing, but for the most part, because of their references and the chemistry that the actors had together and the little bloopers that they have in the film, in the credits, you stick around, you can watch that. That's why I'm giving it a B+. So if you have seen the movie, stick around for the spoiler version. Otherwise, like and subscribe and have a good day.